In this video, we discuss the recent news of Tommy Fury pulling out of a fight with Jake Paul and whether he's scared to fight him.
Just recently, Tommy Fury pulling out of the Jake Paul fight on December the 18th, and Tyron
So
Woodley.
unfortunate to see, man.
Yeah.
It was like, cause that was so hype. Obviously, Tyron Woodley has replaced Tommy Fury for that rematch, which, I mean, that's crazy. Tyron Woodley's taking that on 12 days notice, and Jake Paul is getting in there still, even when it's not against Tommy Fury. Like, that is crazy that Tommy Fury backed out of that fight. There was so much advertising, so much marketing, so much, going into that fight, so many stakes, and to see it just get canceled in a blink of an eye, it's so unfortunate. And obviously the Furies would have such a great pull, but it will be interesting to see how the fight will do now that Woodley is in place of Tommy. I think it will still do pretty well, because Woodley's still going to be a big draw, and Jake Paul fighting is also going to be a big draw. So their first fight was big. I think their second fight will be big, but I don't think it will be as big. Guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
So on that note, what do you think of the people who say Tommy Fury is scared to fight Jake Paul in a boxing match? He obviously pulled out of the fight due to an injury. I think he said he had a chest infection and a broken ribs, but a lot of people say that's just an excuse. He wanted to weigh out, and there's been a hypocrisy in terms of Tyson Fury saying that Tommy Fury could beat him with a broken rib and a flu and this and that. And,
yeah. So ironic.
So what do you yeah. So what do you think of the people who say that Tommy Fury's scared? Do you think there's any validity to that, or do you think that it's just he's actually injured?
I don't think he's scared. Like he even he showed proof on video of his broken rib and everything. I think it's more just really unfortunate. Also, maybe the moment, like the big occasion, might have gone to Tommy a little bit, but I don't see that being enough to make him pull out. I just think it's super
the pressure
unfortunate.
and the big stage.
It's super unfortunate.
I feel like that could have made him kind of like complacent, or not complacent, but like kind of overtrained maybe. Kind of get to him, and he'd sink in camp. All this pressure, all this, and he goes so hard that then he develops these rib injuries and chest infections. I don't know if it's from training, but still. So it's interesting to see that. But
one thing I don't get though, because he said that he knew about all this stuff going on with him a lot earlier, weeks earlier. I'm pretty sure he said.
Yeah. He said, I think he said 2 weeks into his camp, he knew that he was starting to have problems.
Yeah, we didn't even hear any reports of it anyway. So the fact that he kind of waited 2 weeks before the fight it's a bit weird. But in the overall scheme of it, I don't think he was scared. It's just more it really sucks.
Yeah,
but
it's just unfortunate.
To be fair, Tyron Woodley coming in as a replacement for Tommy, it's still interesting. It's an interesting fight, and especially because Tyron rocked Jake heavily, pretty much a knockdown.
He definitely has that power, and Tyron definitely had what it took to maybe beat Jake Paul, but he definitely had what it took, to do more at least. He could have thrown more, he could have done more, and everyone who watched that fight could definitely see that. So I mean, a rematch between them is definitely still interesting. It's not like it's a dead fight now, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. Obviously still involving the MMA world back into it, but 12 days notice, or maybe 15 days notice, or whatever it was that Tommy Fury gave, it sucks to see, but it just doesn't make sense why he would wait all up until that point. If he knew that he had injuries, if he knew that he wasn't going to be fit to fight, why did we go through this whole process of getting all the way through, and then camp's over and I can't fight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he should have done that. I feel like he should have done that earlier, especially if he knew 2 weeks into camp. I get it. He said that he wanted to. He said he wanted to. He thought he'd get better. He thought it would develop, but you can't take risks like that when you're going into the biggest fight of your life. If something's not right, just I get it's the biggest payday. He doesn't want to fumble it as well, but he just did. So
Tommy fumbles.
Tommy fumbles representing.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I don't think he's scared either, but I just think it's a very unfortunate turn of events. I think Jake Paul is now gonna get if he wasn't able to beat Tommy Fury before, I think he's definitely gonna get an edge over him, especially after fighting Tyron Woodley, because getting those 8 rounds, another 8 rounds of experience, if it even goes that far, is definitely gonna be beneficial for him. Another fight under the lights, another fight under the pressure, and he was supposed to fight Tommy. He went through this whole process of fighting Tommy, and I feel like the experience Jake gains could even leverage. If that fight does happen in the future, it could now benefit Jake if it didn't already.
Yeah, and another reason why I think this fight with Tyron replacing Tommy is so interesting, especially since the rematch, is because both guys probably are watching that fight back in camp, or at least the brief camp Tyron's gonna have, and both Jake for this new opponent they're both gonna make their own adjustments, and especially with Tyron, how he didn't throw a lot the frozen one. He's got to make those adjustments, especially if he's hurt Jake like how he did in the last fight. He's got to capitalize on those moments and make the best out of those and try to secure the finish. And then also for Jake, he one thing about him in that fight, he gassed out pretty early into the fight, which also something that could be attributed to is him being on the back foot the whole time and having to circle around the ring, and he's gonna have to try to make adjustments to make sure.
I feel like Jake tiring out could have been more. I feel like it could have been more based off of cardio management rather than actual cardio capacity. He didn't really manage his cardio well when he's moving across the ring every 12 seconds. He's on the other side of the ring, while Tyron Woodley's sitting in the middle of the ring, just controlling and dictating everything. So the cardio management on Jake's part definitely wasn't good. This clip is taken directly from the Punch Plan podcast. You can check the episode out right now on your screen, or you can go in the link in the description and stream it on Spotify. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.